Hello and welcome to My Xbox and Me, episode 383. I am one of your hosts, MC Fixer, alongside the one and only Too Fresh Crash. Crash, how are you?
Still sick.
Still sick. Okay.
Still sick. If I cough at any point and I forget to mute my mic, I apologize.
What he literally just said is, screw you and your ear holes. He doesn't give a crap.
That's literally not what I said.
That's literally what he just said. He just said, if he coughs and he doesn't mute his mic, he doesn't care, he doesn't like you, and he doesn't respect you or your ears on this podcast this week.
For sure, I said none of those words, but I meant all of that. Fix. You really get me. You get me a way that other people just don't.
We've known each other for a long time, my friend. A long time.
True.
I can, you know, like twin telepathy?
Yeah.
Crash telepathy. I have it. I've had it for years.
What am I thinking right now?
You're thinking, damn. I hope Fix is doing okay, and I know he looks so good today. Wow, how does he do it?
Exactly. Wow, you're really good at this.
And then he thought, I need to sip my Gatorade. Oh, look, he just sipped his Gatorade. Wild. I gave him a free plug, Crash. I gave him the free plug. I did that.
I took off the wrapper just so they wouldn't get the plug, and you gave them the plug. That's crazy.
I gave it to him for free. If you didn't know, this is My Xbox and Me, our weekly Xbox podcast, right here on youtube.com/myxboxandme and all podcast services. If you want the show early, head over to patreon.com/mcfixer to support the show financially, amongst a few other things. Before we get into this week's show, I've got a little bit of sad news on my end. Long time listeners of My Xbox and Me will know of this person, I would assume, because I've recorded many an episode there. Unfortunately, if you didn't see on Twitter, we lost Haley's nan over the... It wasn't the weekend. It was in the middle of the week. Yeah, it was on Thursday. Wednesday. Days are rolling into one at the moment. On Wednesday, I believe. Thursday. On Thursday, apologies. On Thursday, and Haley's nan, for those who don't know, Haley's nan played a humongous role in my life. From the moment I got with Haley, I've been with Haley now for nearly 13 years, 12 years and a bit, I think. Come on, dates are hard, who knows? And yeah, man, it's been a journey. She's one of the most supportive human beings I ever had in my life. I remember when I very first started doing this as a career, and she was like, go get a real job. Like, this is not gonna happen. But she did say that. But in the same breath, she was always very supportive. I remember playing the Division 1 there and streaming with Alfredo back in the day, Crash. That's like, I remember that. I remember buying like an extra TV to store in her cupboard for when I come over, I could play it was the Xbox One. Like, she just played a huge role in my life, and I wouldn't be sat here today without her. She helped me out in some really sticky situations in terms of when things were tough at my own house. So yeah, man, I just want to say rest in peace to Sheila, aka Haley's nan. I call her Nan. And yeah, man, so rest in peace, and yeah, man, life's short. Remember to spend time with your loved ones. Don't take things for granted. I think that's the big thing that I've taken away from this one, which is video games are cool. I love video games. They're amazing. They're the best medium of entertainment ever. But don't let them take all your time. Loved ones are there. Or even better, play video games with your loved ones. That way you get to the best of both worlds. Xbox, give us a Mario Party damn game. That's all I'm asking for, god damn it. Anyway, enough sadness. Topic of the show this week is the Game Awards. We were going to do it last week. We couldn't do it. Matt weren't here. Matt can't make it again this week. My time has been all over the place, hence why we're here. No news, no nothing else. This is just going to be myself and Crash going through this year's the Game Awards nominations and discussing who we'd vote for and then what we think will win. If you want to listen to the rest of this episode, please do. If not, you want a normal episode, come back next week. I understand. Crash, I have to start from top to bottom, and that's the one thing I dislike. Can I not start? I want to... Wait, I'm going to see. Can I start? I can't. I'm skipping all the way to the end. I'm skipping all the way to the end, Crash. Because I don't want to start with the Game of the Year nominee. That doesn't make sense. And then I can skip all the, the esports rubbish and the, my name's Content Creator of the Year. If it's not MC Fixer, who cares? Who cares, Crash?
True.
Who cares?
Very true. So which one are we?
We're starting at the end, all right? Best esports event. Crash. I don't know what any of these are. You've got Evo 2022. You've got League of Legends World Championships 2022. PGL Major Antwerp 2022. You have the 2022 Mid-Season International. And you have the Valorant Championships. You're a huge fucking nerd. Which one of these do you watch? Don't lie to me.
I watched 3 of the 5.
Okay.
Not like in their entirety, but I've watched parts of 3 of the 5.
So Valorant obviously is Valorant. The mid-season's Fortnite?
No, is it Fortnite?
I thought it was.
Mid-season Invitational. Oh, it might be Fortnite. I thought it was another League thing. Because League has 2 big tournaments in the year, but you might be right that it's Fortnite. If it's Fortnite, I have not watched that.
I'm wrong. It was League of Legends as well.
It is League of Legends. Yeah. Okay, so so I've watched that. I watched the League World Championships and I watched the Evo 2020. I didn't watch the Valorant stuff.
What about?
I don't know.
What's PG?
I don't know.
PGL. PG.
Pro Golf League.
That's what I thought it was. I'm not gonna lie to you. I saw the name and was like, "Yo, what the hell?" Is PGL and Antwerp. PGL Antwerp is known for
Counter-Strike.
Why would anybody from an Xbox point of view give a crap about this category? Crash, who do you want me to vote for?
League of Legends.
Evo it is, Crash. Evo it is. Thank you very much for asking me. I appreciate you, and I took what you said to heart. It meant a lot to me.
We're on the same page.
And I'm super happy I voted for Evo 2022.
Good call. Very good call.
I appreciate it. We are not doing best esports coach. I don't have enough jokes and energy in me. Best esports team, Crash. We have got Dark Zero Esports, FaZe Clan, Gen G, LA Thieves, and Loud. Crash, where's Team Liquid and who else do I know? Crash, name some other esports teams that I don't know.
Optic. I'm 100% just blanking on teams right now.
What one does 100 Thieves? Where are they?
That's LA Thieves.
No, that says LA Thieves, not 100 Thieves. I'm not dyslexic, but I'm not that dumb.
LA Thieves, 100 Thieves. It's their Call of Duty team.
Okay. So
that's the way Call of Duty works.
All these teams won something this year. Which one's your favorite? Again, because you're a huge fucking nerd. Which one's your favorite?
I'm not gonna go for my favorite. I think Gen G should win it this year.
Why?
Because they had an amazing story for League of Legends and they're winning of it.
Crash, I tell you what. We've got nothing but time. It's a podcast. Why don't you tell me their story?
I'm not telling
Come on, Crash, tell us the story.
I'm too sick. Look, they were the underdogs in it. They arrive to. There's so much to explain for the story. I can't do it in the podcast time slot.
It needs a whole podcast. It needs a whole podcast.
I need a whole podcast.
Patreon.com/MCFixer. We definitely won't do it, but go support and we'll pretend that we're going to do it because apparently that's what we do. I'm voting for Gen G because you told me there's a good story there, Chris. There you go. Okay.
Okay.
I believe in you. If I find out that they all come from rich backgrounds now and they're all super, super rich and super famous, and I'm going to be very upset, Krish. I'm going to be very upset. Best esport athlete, I haven't got a clue. I'm skipping it, Krish. Let's get to some categories that I can talk about. Here we go. Best esports game. You got Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Dota 2, League of Legends, Rocket League, and Valorant. So, my first instinct is to pick Rocket League. And you might say, why on earth would you pick Rocket League? I've got some friends. Shout out to Cole and Stumpy. They work on they are casters for Psyonix, I believe. They work for Psyonix. So, and when I did the Gillette shoot the other day. They were literally sitting there watching it and like excited and all that. And you know what I did, Crash? I looked at it and went, you huge fucking nerds. And they looked at me and went, can we not just be excited for something? And I was like, damn, I felt really bad. I'm not going to lie. You know when someone says something back to you that you're like, I'm joking, but I don't know if you know that I know that you're joking? I was like, oh no, maybe they think I really do think they're huge fucking nerds. And, you know, afterwards I explained to them that they are huge fucking nerds and I couldn't give a fuck what they think.
That's mean of you. You're a very, very mean person.
To be fair, Stumpy's beaten me at every single tournament we played in together. and he's very mean to me on camera. So off camera he's really nice, and on camera he's really horrible. So I'm the opposite.
Oh, so you just flip
Off
it.
camera,
Got it.
I'm
Okay.
really horrible to him, and on camera I'm really nice. That's how I do it.
Got it.
What's your esports game of the year?
I'll be honest. I don't think I've watched enough of anything to like really give a vote. So I'll back you on the Rocket League.
Hey, shout out to Colin Stumpy. You get our votes this year, guys. You get our votes. Most anticipated game for next year, Crash. We've got Final Fantasy 16, Hogwarts Legacy, Resident Evil 4, Starfield, and The Legends of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Crash. At least one of those games is an Xbox exclusive.
At least one of them.
At least one of them.
That's interesting. What would you pick in this last category for yourself, Fix?
Like on a general excitement level for me, I think probably Hogwarts Legacy. I don't think it's going to be the best game out of all of these games. Absolutely not. But it probably is my most anticipated game though, in terms of I love Harry Potter. I wouldn't sound like
you're a Potterhead.
Crazy level. Okay. No, I'm not a pothead. Definitely not a pothead. I'm not a pothead. No way. But I do enjoy the Harry Potter world. I am very interested to see a first interstitial? That's not the word I was looking for. First iteration of something like this. And if it's successful, which I assume it will be, to see how WB can build on that. Can we get a multiplayer Hogwarts Legacy 2? Can we get what I pitched the first time, which is like going into dungeons, which are like raids? And so I'm excited for the whole IP as a whole more. I look at Final Fantasy, I pretty much know what I'm getting. Resident Evil 4, I know what I'm getting. Starfield is a Bethesda game. I assume I know what I'm getting. And Zelda, unfortunately, is just not for me. So from a new IP point of view as well, I would definitely say that's my most anticipated game for the year. Which to some people are probably very shocked. Why is Resident Evil 4 not there? Chris, shall I let you into a little secret? I've still not even watched the trailers for Resident Evil 4.
You know what? That doesn't surprise me. You're a very big Resident Evil person, but for the longest time that I've known you, the one thing you always talk about, Resident Evil 4, that's when the series started going downhill. So that does not surprise me whatsoever. I honestly would have been shocked if you said Resident Evil 4. I was like, oh, I would have said, oh, Fix is just pandering to the Resident Evil fans right now.
Pandering to the audience. No, honestly, I think for me, I think Hogwarts Legacy looks like a 7 to 8 game. I don't think it's a 9-10 game at all. And the combat's what's got me most concerned. But it is the IP here that I'm most excited about.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's a lot of people's most excited. I will say, like, out of this whole bunch, I think it's most likely to receive like the lowest Metacritic score and all that stuff.
Of all these games
out of everything here?
Yes, absolutely. I agree with you on that. I agree with you. I think Final Fantasy comes in at a 9. I think Resident Evil 4 is going to come in at a 10. I think Starfield's going to come in at 8, 9. And I think Zelda always gets the Nintendo boost. I think that'll come in at a 9, 10 as well. And I think Hogwarts Legacy easily could come in at a 6.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think there's a possibility. The high in my mind for Hogwarts Legacy is unfortunately like an 8.
8.
Yeah. Which we'll see, because that's early next year, right? It's not too deep into the year.
Well, it's been delayed a few times. Let's have a look.
I think it's January something, isn't it?
No, it's not that early, is it?
Is it not? No, I could be absolutely wrong.
February 10th.
Okay, so yeah.
February 10th, yeah.
Okay.
So
it's not too far out to see where that lands. Hopefully it is on the higher end of that scale, because I think even as a 7 or an 8 with the IP attached, I think that is a success for the franchise, or for what they want to do with that as well.
I think with all the bad PR, obviously, fuck J.K. Rowling, around it, that being part of it, I think it's going to be an interesting one. It's definitely going to... It's a little bit like... I don't know if you know about... Obviously, the World Cup's going on right now. And obviously, you've got the... They're against gay rights, and obviously, there's been a load of deaths from workers and things like that. There's a lot of there's a lot of talk around this World Cup, and is it right in supporting it and things like that. And again, it's the same conversation that's happening with Hogwarts Legacy, right? And it becomes really hard to figure out. And again, those conversations with me will still happen. And yeah, it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one to separate myself, I've been vocal about fuck J.K. Rowling. I don't think I've been vocal about fuck this game and fuck WB and fuck, like, do you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one, and I'll be interested to see how we play this one out. But yeah, so what are you picking as most anticipated?
It's just Final Fantasy 16.
Okay, yeah.
It's for me. It's not even the closest thing would be Legend of Zelda, and I don't think that's really that close for me.
Yeah.
I think Legend of Zelda is what ends up winning it, to be honest. I'd be shocked if Legend of Zelda doesn't get most anticipated game from this list.
I can see Resident Evil being up there.
I was going to say it's either going to be Legend of Zelda or Resident Evil. I think more likely Legend of Zelda, but I could for sure, because it's Resident Evil 4 remake, I could for sure see that snatching it as well. Starfield being a Bethesda game, I think there's a possibility just off of that, but I don't think Starfield has that IP power.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet. Okie dokie. Moving on, we have a best adaptation game. Recognized outside and creative work that faithfully and authentically adapts a video game to another entertainment medium. So you've got Arcane's Legends, League of Legends. You have Cyberpunk's Edge Runner. You have the Cuphead show, Sonic 2, and Uncharted. Crash, shall I let you know a little science hack?
Yeah.
This smells like advertisement.
You think so?
This smells like an advertisement category.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you why I don't think so, because I think we're getting to the point where we're regularly getting game adaptations. And if this was an advertisement, I think we would have seen the Master Chief TV show in here, or something that clearly absolutely does not belong in any sense of the way. And you could argue that is Uncharted, actually, in my opinion, although some people really like that movie. I did not enjoy it whatsoever.
It's a wild one. I've not seen any of this. I was late to Sonic on the first one, so I do want to watch that. Uncharted is one of those films where, do you know what it is? I'm never in the mood for a bad film anymore. Do you know, like back in the day, you would just throw on a film, or back in the day when I had the cinema pass as well, I'd go see everything. I don't have a cinema pass anymore.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, and then I'd walk in the cinema and I would be like, I just want to turn my brain off for 2 hours. I very rarely do I have 2 hours to go, I just want to turn my brain off anymore. But I've heard great things about the League of Legends Arcane, and I've heard great things about Cyberpunk Edge Runner as well. So
yeah, honestly, I think there are like 4 actually good things here, which is
Sonic
Arcane,
2?
Cyberpunk, Sonic 2 solid. I don't think it's as good as the first, but I think it's solid. And the Cuphead show, I watched like 2 episodes. It wasn't really for me, but I've heard a lot of good things about it as well. The animation's also unsurprisingly good, because Cuphead already fit that animation style as well. And even Uncharted, I wasn't a fan of it, but some people really liked the movie and its adaptation of the source material. I'm split for this one between Cyberpunk and Arcane, to be honest. I think they did both a really, really phenomenal job. I think, it's so tough, because I was going to say I think Arcane wins it, but Cyberpunk sort of got the same sort of love Arcane did when it was released. The only thing is Cyberpunk released all at once, whereas Arcane had the benefit of releasing like 2 to 3 episodes over a span of time.
I think Arcane wins, but only because I think back to when I was in the zeitgeist of it all. They had that whole soundtrack that came out with it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
They had that Imagine Dragons song, and I play that song constantly, which then makes me think of this show every single time. And I've not seen the show. So I'm like, damn, that was the one time that I've gone, wow, the marketing was great on this.
Yeah.
Where Cyberpunk for me was huge amongst gamers, but Arcane there was people that said to me, oh, have you watched Arcane? And I'm like, how the hell do you know about this? It's like a video game property. And they're like, oh, I didn't even know. I didn't know this was like attached to anything. So
yeah, no, that's absolutely fair. I think League of Legends is also the bigger IP of the two, and you
Yeah.
have to take that into account as well, I think.
Wild. You're
so I
right,
think,
but that's a wild statement,
yeah.
you know? It's like, just hearing you say that, I'm like, what? My knee-jerk reaction was like, no, wait. Oh, yeah, it is. It definitely is.
Yeah. So I think you're spot on with Arcane winning it. I think that's the vote.
That's who I'm going for. I'm going for Arcane. But by the way, can we just give a shout out to I'm very quick to diss Netflix for, Resident Evil and some of the other crap films they put out. They got free good films here when it comes to video games. So
Yeah.
as much as they shit the bed with Resident Evil property, they did good by See, I say that I was about to say imagine a animated Resident Evil show that did it. It wasn't good, so I can't even say that, unfortunately. Sorry, Netflix.
Yeah, I don't know how much Netflix. There's so many people that get involved with creating this that I understand where you're going with this. Give credit where it's credit's due. Netflix put the money behind this stuff, but they weren't the creative forces behind it. It is what the director is and all the stuff.
It was on their platform. Give them the credit.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
It was on their platform. We didn't have to go to Paramount Plus to go watch this crap or this amazing stuff. We got to go to a platform in which the majority of us are already bought into and we're already a part of it. They're feeding us content. I can't say
or you
too
could borrow
much
someone's
about
account. Not impossible to access Netflix.
I'm not saying anything. No comment. I plead the fifth. Best debut indie. For the best debut indie game created by an independent studio, you got Neo White, Norco, Stray, Tunic, and Vampire Survivors. My gut says that Stray wins this. But my heart, what I would pick, again, I've only dabbled in 2 of these games, which would be Stray and Tunic. And I would pick, of the 2, I'd pick Tunic, personally.
Yeah, I would be surprised if Stray doesn't win this. I think Neon White actually has a chance because that got a lot of praise from critics when that came out, and I think that could be one of the ones where critics do carry that game to a victory. The only 2 I've played from this category are Tunic and actually Vampire Survivors, which we'll end up talking about next week. But both of those are really solid games. Of the 2, I think I would pick Tunic as well.
Okay. I'm actually playing I believe it's an indie game. Let me check, actually. I have to spell a word that I hate. Give me a second. Is this an indie game? Let's have a look. Published by No More Robots. I believe it is. I'm playing. I can't talk about it, but I can say that I'm playing Soccer Story. So the same. I believe it's in the. Well, I don't believe it's in the same vein as Golf Story. If you played that back on Switch, back in 2017, I believe. So yeah, that's on Game Pass. It comes out on Game Pass, but I got a code early, so yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'll talk about that next week as well, though. But yeah, for the best indie, I'm gonna go with Tunic. Is my vote, but I think Stray wins it. What about you?
I think I would give it to Tunic as well, but I agree. I think Stray ends up winning it.
Okay. Content Creator of the Year, and we have for streamer or content creator who has made an important impact on the community in 2022. You've got MC Fixer. Oh my god, I didn't know I was nominated. I can't believe it. Wow.
That's crazy.
Kreshnik Plays.
Whoa, that's crazy. Jeff Keighley is a fan of my Xbox. Me, that's wild.
The Haley Show. Oh my god. And Greg Miller. I don't know what he was doing on here though. Feel bad for Matt P though. He got snubbed. He got snubbed this year, man. He got snubbed.
Unfortunate. Next year is his time to shine.
Maybe next year. No, on a real. You got Carl Jacobs, Ludwig, Nibble, Norbrew, and you have QT Cinderella. I know 3 of these creators, which is pretty good because sometimes I don't know any of them. So it's a hard one this year. It's a really, really, really hard one.
Can I say something?
Absolutely.
I feel whoever made this list is very out of touch. Ludwig should have won last year.
Yep.
He should have been in category for last year. Carl Jacobs should have been in it for last year. Could have won it last year. Cutie Cinderella. I think she deserves to be there. She had the streamer awards or whatever it was. So I think that nomination's fine. I don't know Nobru, so I can't speak on that. And Nibelion's here out of, I don't know why he's here.
Nibelion's here because he left Twitter.
Yeah, that's what it feels like, right? I don't know. I don't.
Rebellion.
Look, I think
he a content creator?
I think you can make the argument. Absolutely.
This producer, like he I get no.
He
yeah,
creates
I guess
Twitter
he
content.
does.
He creates Twitter content. Absolutely.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Like there's 100% a valid reason, but he wasn't perceived that way until after he decided to leave, which I think is a very big statement he made, and maybe the point he wanted to get across came across by him leaving. But I
never viewed him as a content creator. He was.
Yes, he was. Yeah. Absolutely.
Or is. I don't think he's like finished making stuff. I think he just does it on other platforms, not platforms that I use. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure on.
I think he's done.
Oh, okay.
I might be wrong about that, but I think he's done. I hope I'm wrong about that, and he's still making content on other platforms.
Hive. Get over to Hive, Crash.
Yeah, I already have an account on Hive.
I can't believe you made an account. Just to interject, I saw you tweet that you've got one. I think you tweeted it, and I was like, "Wow, I've definitely rubbed off on him. I've definitely rubbed off on him." No,
you want to know why I made it? Because I don't like the fact that on Twitter my tag is Kreshnik Plays.
Yeah,
and I was able to grab both just Kresh and Kreshnik, so I don't know which one I'll go for. But I have both those tags. That's the only reason I jumped on Hive.
Just in case it becomes the next big thing. I respect it. I
was like, I don't want my name. I don't want to get taken again.
Yeah, I think if we're from what the category is for a streamer who has a streamer or content creator who's made an important and positive impact on the community. Why isn't what's his face up for it?
Oh, Kai Cenat or whatever. I forget. I don't know how you pronounce his name fully. He should have been here. He should have won it. Like he should absolutely be here. It's because one of two things. Whoever makes this list is incredibly out of touch, or everybody on this list is a very specific shade of color.
I'm glad you said it. But
no,
I don't think it's that. I generally don't think it's that. I think it's a case of Kai comes with a level of, and most of our audience is probably going, who the hell are you talking about? You would have seen him on TikTok if you watch TikTok. If you watch anything that's like a streamer based thing, you would know about him. He done a stream the other day with 21 Savage. He done a stream the other day with Blueface, which is a rapper, and some stuff went wrong. He's the most subscribed Twitch streamer at this moment on Twitch, surpassing Ninja, but he doesn't make brand safe content. So I think that's why he's not on here. And as someone as me, I very much used to make different types of content before I started working with brands. And you do, like, if you're not brand safe, you don't get anywhere as close to stuff like this unless you're brand safe, and that's just how it is at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think for a Game Awards show, is a lot of his content is around gaming, and I think you can make an argument for some of the people here as well. But for him, I don't know if he ever plays games, because I've never seen any content involving him and games being played.
It's a great point.
But I think it's content creator in general is the category.
It's the Game Awards.
Yeah.
But when I watch Ludwig, I never watch him I've never seen him play a game. I see him talking about the games industry. I don't see him playing a game. So, yeah, I mean, personally, who I want to win, probably Ludwig, if I'm being honest with you. That's on this list, well, apart from Nibellion. Those two are the ones whose content I use the most. But if I had to pick, I'd probably pick Ludwig.
Yeah, same. I feel like he deserves the win, even though he deserved it last year. I feel like he should get it this year. Yeah.
Next up, we have Best Multiplayer Game for outstanding online multiplayer gameplay and design, including co-op and massively multiplayer experience, irrespective of game or genre or platform. You have Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Multiverses, which I have played,
Ooh.
Overwatch 2, Splatoon 3, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge. I played that as well. So I played three of the 5 games here, Crash. You proud of me?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I played 4 of the 5, so.
Overwatch 2?
Yep.
Okay. I wanted to play Splatoon 3, but it just never had the splash that it needed to.
That's what I didn't play as well.
You did.
Splatoon's just never been into me. I've never been into Splatoon because of the splash. Never made splash. Good joke. Good joke.
I'm wasted on you. I'm wasted on you. I'm wasted on you.
I'm too sick to get that joke in time, thanks.
I don't know. I don't look at any of these games and think any of them did anything crazy in terms of multiplayer. Shredder's Revenge had 8 players that you could play on, which was very cool for a side-scrolling beat 'em up. Everything else is just basic online, so I guess.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that blew anything out of the water, right? Call of Duty's more Call of Duty. There's people who love it. There's people who hate it, just like every year.
Yep.
Overwatch 2
had issues launching.
Good and bad. Had issues launching. Microtransactions are a mess in that game. Splatoon 3, can't speak on it. I really have no clue how the multiplayer even functions in that game.
Plus, it's Nintendo's online, so we don't trust that.
Yeah, Multiverses, very cool. The fact that it brought so many IPs, but do you consider that when you're talking about best multiplayer game, right?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
If I had to pick, I'd go Call of Duty. It worked.
I think I'd still go Multiverses. I think for the type of game it has, for a functional online in that environment, I feel like that's actually a really big success for that type of game in particular.
Works on Steam Deck. That's where I played it.
Did you really?
Yep.
Oh. Well, there you go. I would have loved to sit here and say like, yeah, no, it's obviously Overwatch 2, but I don't think it is, unfortunately. When you look at all the baggage that comes with multiplayer, I think if you're talking about just the game, well, I'd be very close to saying yes, but then there's also like, there's a lot of same stuff in Overwatch 2 that you could argue like a lot of that stuff's Overwatch 1. Do you only count the new stuff or do you only count the stuff that's changed? I don't know. I think my vote would be Multiverses. I have no clue what possibly wins this list, this category right here.
I wouldn't be surprised if Multiverses won it because I don't think it's going to win anything else.
That's fair.
So to give it a little, hey, well done.
Yeah, I do think when it launched, also it had like a really big moment to shine. So it's not even to say that it didn't have.
When's the Game Awards?
The Game Awards is the 6th or something like that.
Oh, okay. I'm not gonna miss it. I thought I was gonna miss it. I was like, oh, I'm in Texas. I'm in Texas.
Let me just check, just in case.
I can watch it in Texas. Don't get me wrong. I just won't be able to make content. Is all.
Yeah, December 8th. When do you leave?
17th.
Okay, yeah, you're good. You're good.
I'm good. Okay. Next up, we have best sports/racing game. You got F1. F1 2022, FIFA 23, NBA 2K 23, Gran Turismo 7, and Ollie World. Played 2 of these. I'm really looking forward to playing F1 with my steering wheel soon. Yeah, I mean, I didn't love this year's 2K, and most people know I talk about 2K quite often. So if I had to pick, I'd pick FIFA this year. Gameplay was very different compared to previous years, which I'm sure people going, it's a football game, it's exactly the same. It wasn't. They actively changed a lot of systems in terms of movement and the way the ball moves and things like that. Overall, it's a very good football game and feels like a game of football now. So if I had to pick, I'd probably pick that, but just because I haven't played F1 2022 yet.
I echo your statement verbatim. I have absolutely no clue about this category. I haven't played any of these on top of that as well, so
Fair enough. Fair enough. Next up, you have best sim/strategy game. You have Dune. I believe that's how you say it. Spice Wars. You have Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope. You have Total War Warhammer 3. You have 2 Point Campus, and you have Victoria 3.
Like none of these.
I played 2 of these. And to me, it's a clear winner in Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Personally, haven't finished it yet. Get to play it again this week. Actually, problem is I'm playing it for UB, so take everything I say with a pinch of salt. So I have to play it when they schedule me to stream it. So I can't just finish it. But I'm itching to play it, and I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna take my Switch abroad with me. I'm not gonna be able to play it. I'm gonna have to play Pokemon or something else. I'm like, oh man, I really want to play it. For what I've played so far, I love the open world. I love the exploring the maps that they've got there. I love the side quests they've added. I love the changes they've made to combat. It's overall a really, really, really fun simulation game. So that's where I would be going. And 2 Point Campus just didn't hit the way I thought it would. Unfortunately, 2 Point Hospital, maybe it was just time and place, where that one hit me instantaneously and I loved it. 2 Point Campus just didn't. I know H played it and loved it. Thank you. But yeah, it just didn't. It didn't hit the same. It did not hit the same, which is a shame.
Yeah,
if you had to pick one, what would you go with?
Again.
No. If you had to pick one, just out of random, what would you pick?
Out of random, Total War Warhammer 3. I've seen people talk about that pretty positively as well. So
okay, fair enough. Next up, you have Best Family Game. You have Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Lego Star Wars, The Skywalker Saga, Mario plus Rabbids, Sparks of Hope, Nintendo Switch Sports, and Splatoon 3.
Lego Star Wars wins this, right?
I would have thought so. From a industry standpoint, yeah, I would have thought that's the game that most people would have played. I think if you were going purely off of the title of this category, Best Family would be Nintendo Switch Sports. If you were going specifically off of that, I think Nintendo Switch Sports is the best. I need to just preface this with I haven't played it. But if it's anything like the original Switch and Wii Sports, then yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think it is. I think Wii Sports was time and place. It had a lot to do with it.
And it was a pack-in.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'll go with you on Skywalker.
Yeah, okay.
Next up, Best Fighting Game. Crash's category, baby. For the best designs primarily around head-to-head combat. Oh, interesting. So you've got DNF Duel, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, All-Star Battle R, The King of Fighters XV, which is 16?
15.
15. Multiverses and Sifu. Crash, talk to me.
I don't know why Sifu's in this category, and it's gross that it's in this category.
I agree.
Sifu should not be in this category, and whoever put games in this category or voted for Sifu to be here, or however the Game Awards works, should be ashamed of themselves.
You heard it here first.
It's not a fighting game. I'm the reason it's there. This is an interesting one. I think Multiverses for sure has a good shot at winning this. I think DNF Duel would probably get my vote out of everything that's here. I haven't played King of Fighters 15, but I know it's really, really good. A lot of people really like that game. And then JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I did not play it, but it is a remake from, I think it's was it a DS game or was it like a PS2 game?
PSP?
Don't
maybe?
remember exactly. It might have been a PSP game. It is an old game. It is a remake of an old game. I don't even think technically it's a remake. I think it's more of a remaster. So I would vote for that.
PS3.
PS3. Okay, I was absolutely off with where the game appeared. It was a PS3 game. I think I would give it to DNF Duel, but I think Multiverses wins it. I think
that's the game that most people probably would have played out of the fighting game category and gone, or you can go so left field and maybe Sifu wins it just because people have put it there to go, oh, it's not going to win anything else, so we'll give it that. And that would, You're in the
That
fighting
would
game community.
suck.
That would upset a lot of people, I'd assume.
Yeah. Well, people are already upset that it's put up there
Yeah.
because like it doesn't really make sense. You can make the argument you can make for Sifu to be up there could be made for anything. Like God of War could be up there
Yeah.
with the same argument you make for Sifu. So then the question would be like, why isn't God of War up there? Because God of War would definitely deserve to be up there over Sifu if we were to consider it. So it's just a really, really weird decision. But yeah, I think people would be upset, but I don't think the Game Awards or Jeff Keighley generally would care if people are upset because people are upset about categories every year. So
Best role-playing game, Crash. You have got Elden Ring, Live Alive. It's Live Alive. Apologies. Pokemon Legend Arceus, Triangle Strategy, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Now, I have to give a shout out to Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I've not played it. I'll never play a Xenoblade game ever. But you've got Stead listening to the podcast every week. And he hears us talk about so much smack and so much crap. And he's still here every week, Crash. So we have to give a shout out to him and Xenoblade. Because he's 100%, that's what he's picking. Nah. We already know what's winning this category. There's no point even talking about the other games. It's not even close. It's Elden Ring.
I don't know. I don't know if Elden Ring wins this.
What wins it?
I think Elden Ring wins it, but I think Xenoblade Chronicles 3 has a really good chance to win.
Yeah, but Crash. Stead plays it. It can't be that good.
Yeah, but a lot of people really, really love it.
I think for me, I'm getting Elden Ring 100%. I think Elden Ring's going to clean up this year.
You think so?
Yeah.
But it's such a hard thing because I think when you think role-playing category, I think Xenoblade Chronicles 3 just fits that idea so much that I could see people voting for it. I could see people also being like, hey, I want Xenoblade Chronicles 3 to win something, and it's not going to win Game of the Year, and it's not going to win some of the other categories it's up for. That this is the most Xenoblade category there is.
Been doing this a long time, Crash. I've been watching a lot of Game Awards.
You don't think it's going to happen?
Elden Ring's winning this.
Yeah, I think so. Instead, I tried. Instead.
Next up, best action/adventure game. You have got A Plague Tale Requiem, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Tunic. What a list of games other than Stray, personally.
I think this is similar to last category, right?
Yeah, I think Tunic wins.
No chance Tunic wins this.
No, I know. God of War, obviously.
Yeah, this is absolutely... I'd be surprised if God of War does not win this category.
I like the fact that A Plague Tale Requiem is up there. I tried to tell y'all a lot. The first game, I told you the first game was good. I told you. You didn't want to listen to me. But I told you still. You didn't want to listen.
I don't think games being up for categories means the game's necessarily good.
Absolutely, you're wrong.
I know, I'm not.
Okay. You're 6. I'm going to
Gran
allow
Turismo
it.
7 was best sports game.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Best action game. You have got Bayonetta 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Neo White, Sifu, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge.
My vote is on Sifu.
I think either Bayonetta or Sifu. I can see Sifu winning this. Yeah, people like that game a lot.
Yeah, I could see Bayonetta for sure winning this. I could also see, again, Neon White. I think that is a game that got a lot of praise when that came out. I think Neon White for sure has a chance. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles has an IP that could maybe muster some votes. I don't think it gives it enough votes. And then Call of Duty, I don't think this is a category that really screams Call of Duty.
No.
And that if it did, it would be the campaign, and I don't think I heard enough positive things about the campaign to say that it would win this category.
Yeah.
So I have vote on Sifu, and who wins this? I think it's between Sifu and Bayonetta 3.
Okay. Best VR/AR. You've got After the Fall, Among Us VR, Bone Lab, Moss, Book 2, and Red Matter. After the Fall's going to win this, personally. Actually, I don't think After the Fall will win this, but that was my favorite VR experience this year.
I have no clue what
I think
3
Among
out of
Us
5
wins
of these
this.
are. You think so?
I think Among Us probably wins it, yeah, because of the IP. But from the experiences that I had, After the Fall, 100%. Like, After the Fall is the whole reason I got a VR headset.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. What type of game is it?
It's like a zombie shooting game.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will say, like, I think this is a year where, like, none of these VR games have really been talked about like crazy. I know Among Us VR came out relatively recently. But usually a VR game or two sort of breaks through the zeitgeist and you just really hear people talking about it and praising it. I feel like this is one of the years where nothing's really come out. So I think Among Us VR, just by name recognition, has a chance to winning it. But I think also that name recognition might hurt it in a category like this.
Could do.
Where I could see something like After the Fall, like you said, winning it, or any of these other games, because I really have no clue about any of these games, really.
Not interested in VR still?
No, until there's like a full game experience. Someone's like, this is a game you need to play from beginning to end. And I don't think VR is made for that, at least not yet. I have no real interest in it.
Okay. Innovation in accessibility. We have got As Dusk Falls, God of War Ragnarok, Return to Monkey Island, The Last of Us Part 1. Oh, the remake. I was very confused for a second there. And The Quarry.
I don't know about a whole lot of accessibility stuff. I will say I do know.
From the ones I've played, The Quarry I know has a dyslexic mode, so that's what I'm voting for. Number 1, instantaneously. It's the first game that I saw that I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. So that for me was humongous. I know Dustfall has a lot of settings as well. I think it's easier to do in credit where credit's due when it comes to PlayStation. You've got to give them credit when it comes to what they've done with God of War and The Last of Us, to be fair. But it's easier to be done in these walking simulator type games, right? Like I feel like with less action. Like I know The Quarry, you can change out your QuickTime events to so instead of tapping buttons, you can do it to swipes and things like that as well. So a lot of things they've added to these games now that make them more accessible to everybody, which is awesome. But yeah, for me, I'd pick The Quarry personally.
Yeah, I think God of War Ragnarok has a lot of accessibility settings to both, like how you're mentioning, like tapping buttons to like holding it, or changing the way certain mechanics. They have like one of the ones where it's like you can have boss checkpoints if that's something you need or stuff like that. So I do think they put a lot of effort into accessibilities, which I feel like is one of the things Sony's really focused on a lot. Is every time they have a game coming out, there's a list of accessibility features. I would say, for me, I think it's God of War Ragnarok, but then again, I don't really like spend a whole lot of time looking at accessibility features as well. So it's kind of a difficult one for me to really gauge.
Fair enough. Best community support, you've got Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy XIV, which is the online one, if I'm not mistaken.
14, yeah.
14. God damn it, Roman numerals. God damn it, one day. Fortnite and No Man's Sky. If I had to pick, it'd probably be Destiny.
Yes and no. Because like the community is really not in love with Destiny right now. So I wonder how much of the community being appreciative of that communication and whatnot is involved in this award. But they definitely are very talkative, and I can't even say that actually, because this is the year where they're like, we're not going to be as open, or we're not going to be as talkative about a lot of the stuff we have planned, because they had the whole stuff about somebody sending them death threats and stuff like that. They've been dealing with a lot of that stuff, so they're like, we're just going to be more quiet for right now. But I do think that they still have been talking to the community, just not as open as they were before.
Crash.
Yeah.
Me. You.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 14. Do we go back?
No. I will go back.
I could go back.
You will not go back, Fix.
Why not?
Because you're gonna go back once and then you'll be like, oh man, before we do this dungeon, I gotta go check my plans GTA real quick. I'll be right back. And then you're gonna get on GTA and somebody's gonna call you and you'll be like, yo, I got a whole
Man, you sound like Haley. God, you sound like Haley, bro. You sound like Haley. Like, get off me, bro. Just leave me, all right?
But that's what's gonna happen. I'm not judging you. There is absolutely no judgment. I'm just telling you what is going to happen.
I'd like to go back.
I'm sure you would. I have no doubt that you would like to go back. But I have doubt that you would go back.
I respect it. All right, I don't know what to vote for then, Crush. Like, you put a hole in my... I thought Destiny's community was doing all right, but clearly not.
You know, it's one of those things, because I've been playing a lot of Destiny this year. It's when you're in the weeds of the community that you really hear, like, the complaints of the community. I think that's one of the things. So if you're saying from the offset that it seems like the Destiny community was good, maybe that's what you vote for.
All right, I'll vote for it.
Okay. I think so.
Coming down to our last 12. Oh, best mobile. All right, yeah, sure. Best mobile game, Apex Legends Mobile. I didn't even know that existed. Diablo Immortal, Genshin Impact, Marvel Snap, and Tower of Fantasy. I'm between either Genshin Impact or Marvel Snap. I've not played any of these games on here, but people have non-stop telling me how good Marvel Snap is.
Yeah, I think I would vote. I would vote personally Genshin Impact, but I think Marvel Snap wins this without a doubt.
Okay. We're down to our last 10 categories real quick here, chat. Jesus, I'm not live. Guys, so let's go through them. Best indie. Okay. You got Cult of the Lamb, which I heard amazing things about. Neo White, Sifu, Stray, and Tunic. Good year for the indies. Good year for indies. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Good year for indies, definitely.
I think my vote goes for Cult of the Lamb on this one.
I've heard amazing things about the game.
Yeah, I think this is actually like a kind of a tough category because these are all like really, really highly rated games from people who played them. So it's really, because I was gonna say, I think Cult of the Lamb, maybe Sifu, but then you keep looking, it's like Stray, Neon White, Tunic. I think this is actually a toss-up. I think I'd say Stray has the biggest chance to win for stuff that we've already talked about.
Yeah.
But this could really go anyway, I feel like.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Stray probably wins it, but I would love to see Cult of the Lamb win it, personally, to get that recognition. Best ongoing game. Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Genshin Impact. See, I still keep looking at Apex because I still enjoy that game and I see a few updates they do every now and then. So to me, that's where my heart goes. But I don't know, Fortnite's still updating regularly. Obviously, Final Fantasy just keeps on going. Like, any of these lot could win, right?
Yeah, I think this one goes down to like the biggest fan base, right? So that immediately sends me to either Fortnite or Genshin Impact.
I think Genshin wins it.
I think so. I would love, like, this is 100% like a very difficult category to do. I think Destiny 2 probably the least deserving of these games. For a whole slew of reasons that if you're not a Destiny fan, you don't really care about. Final Fantasy 14, they had the expansion drop this year.
Yeah.
So that's 100% possibly could get a win there.
I bought
Fortnite,
that expansion and never put the code in and lost the code.
Yeah, you did not lose the code.
It's in my email somewhere.
Okay, so you can get it. You haven't lost it. Okay. Fortnite, has Fortnite really had...
It still has a lot of skins updates and stuff. No builds.
It had highlights this year. No, I was just thinking if it had any of the big moments aside from like skins, and for sure the no build mode was huge. I'm pretty sure there's like an event or two they had that I'm completely missing out on.
Yeah.
Apex Legends, I think Apex Legends and Destiny 2 are probably at the bottom of this list for me. And I think of the other three, kind of a toss-up, but I'd probably give it to Genshin Impact on winning it.
Okay. Next time we got Games for Impact for a thought-provoking game with a pro social meaning or message. You got, I think it's the memoir. I don't know. Am I saying that? Am I saying that wrong?
Memoir.
Memoir. It is memoir. Thought it was, but I second guessed myself. A memoir blue as dusk falls. Citizen's sleeper. Endling. Extinction is forever. Hindsight. And I was a teenager. Echo colonist. I've only played one of these games, and I haven't finished it yet, though I want to. I don't know if I will by the end of the year. Which is As Dusk Falls. I haven't seen the ending, so I assume that's where the big games for Impact thing is there. I've seen some of the decisions I've made. I've seen the characters. It's interesting. It's definitely a different type of, I guess it's not even really a walking sim, storytelling. So because I've played it, I'm going to vote for that. I'm sure these other games are amazing. But yeah, I just haven't had time or knew about them, actually. I haven't heard of any of these other games other than A Dusk Fall 1 here.
Yeah, I think Citizen Sleeper is on Game Pass, isn't it? Or something like that.
Possibly.
I could be wrong about that. But yeah, I haven't really heard anything about these games. The only game of this category that I've played is Road 76, and that did not come out this year.
Oh,
so I have no real input because that is my games for Impact of the year. So
I respect that. You got best performance. You got Ashley Birch in Horizon Forbidden West. You have Charlotte McBurn in A Plague Tale Requiem. You have Christopher Judd in God of War Ragnarok. You have Manon Gag in Immortality.
Yeah.
You have Sunny Sherjink in God of War Ragnarok. Crush?
My vote would be for Christopher Judge in God of War Ragnarok. I've seen 3 of these. Out of these, I haven't seen A Plague Tale Requiem. But with the way people talk about it, I wouldn't be surprised if she's in contention. And then Immortality, I think, is similar, even though that's all live action stuff. I feel like that's a little bit cheap, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm gonna go along with you on the journey, Crash. Best audio design: Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Elden Ring, God of War, Gran Turismo 7, and Horizon Forbidden West. Not
audio design is a lot of stuff. You don't think Call of Duty wins best audio design?
No.
Why is that?
Footsteps in BR terrible.
No. Okay,
not audio design. I
know.
I knew that was going to upset you. I knew it was going to upset you. I do. No, Call of Duty could easily win it. It sounds like it's an amazing.
The audio is amazing
game.
when it's when it's functional. The audio is amazing. Elden Ring, I don't think so. From my time with Elden Ring, I'm trying to think.
Like.
Not that it sounds bad or anything like that, but I don't think it's like something that sort of really stands out.
Nor did Horizon. Horizon didn't stand out to me either.
Yeah, no, I don't think Horizon does. God of War Ragnarok has good audio and soundtrack, but I don't know if any of it's was something that I stopped and said, "Oh wow, that's really amazing." The same way I did when I heard. But Call of Duty is one of those things where you hear guns and you hear the gunfire, and you're like, "Oh, the gunfire sounds really clean, and the reload sounds really clean."
Same thing can be said about Gran Turismo, right? But
exactly.
Ultimately, if either of those two games, if it sounds wrong, it takes you out of the game instantly, becomes a 6 or a 7.
Very true. So maybe
where the others have story, and obviously COD has a story, but you know what I mean. Story and other things going for it that back up. Best audio. Audio is so important. Like in video games, like it's not. We all understand that, right? But I think it's got to be between Call of Duty and Gran Turismo for me.
Yeah, I think.
And I played COD, so I'm gonna go with that.
I was gonna say the same exact thing.
Yeah. So, best score and music. You have A Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War, Metal Hellslinger, and Exoblade. Jesus Christ. Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
This is a tough category.
It's a tough category because I haven't played enough of these games.
Yeah. I haven't played 3 of these games, so I can't speak on them. Xenoblade Chronicles is a RPG, and Japanese RPGs specifically tend to have really good scores and music particular, so I wouldn't be surprised that's phenomenal. Helsinger's based all around music, so I wouldn't be surprised that that has a good one.
Yeah.
Both God of War Ragnarok and Elden Ring have really good soundtracks and scores, and Plague Tale Requiem. How's the first one?
Score was decent, yeah. Decent.
Yeah, so this is a tough category from the two that I've played, which would be Elden Ring.
I think Metal Hellslinger probably wins this because the whole game is based around
that's what it is,
shooting and music, and
so a lot of critics.
When you miss a sign, not a sign, if you miss a shot, the song changes, and the whole game is based around score.
It would be kind of insulting not for that not to win, right? I think so. Just because how it's integral to. Yeah, I'm with you with that.
Like, it's a whole game based around score.
Yeah. So. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Next up, you have Best Art Direction, which has got Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Scorn, and Stray. I could give this to Stray quite easily.
Really?
I think it's got a very unique art style in terms of cyberpunky world with a cat. That I like that. I like that's one thing I think it definitely stands out amongst everything else. I don't think Elden Ring wins this personally, but I could be wrong.
I can see Elden Ring winning this.
Yeah.
I think you look at certain parts of the game and say, well, that's pretty ugly, but I think that's by design. I think God of War, what?
Bit like Scorn.
Yeah. Yeah, Elden Ring doesn't win this at all.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think Stray or God of War for me.
Yeah, I'm with that. God of War does have a good art style, but the thing with God of War's art style is I feel like it's already treaded ground with the first one, and I don't think there are some environments that are pretty different, but I don't think they're different enough. I don't know. This is one that's really hard to judge because this is a very, very subjective category.
Yeah.
I think I'd go with God of War, but I'll leave the final decision to you.
No, I'll go with you. God of War. Next up, Best Narrative. For outstanding storytelling, narrative development in a game. A Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War, Horizon Forbidden West, and Immortality. For me, it's between... I'm sure A Plague Tale is up there for me. I haven't played it yet, but I'm sure if we'd done this after Christmas, I would have played it and I would have known. It's probably between God of War or Elden Ring, I'd assume. Elden Ring because of its subtleness in the way it tells its story, and that's what people love about it. It isn't anywhere similar to God of War. And then God of War because it's God of War, to be honest with you. I think God of War, I haven't played God of War either, by the way, yet. I think in my head, I'd probably pick God of War because I know what I'm expecting, but I think Elden Ring might win this.
Yeah, I will say a lot of people complaining about Elden Ring being on this and saying Elden Ring doesn't deserve to be on it. And just because you don't like the way a narrative is told doesn't mean it doesn't deserve to be here. Because Elden Ring absolutely does have a narrative. Now, saying you don't like how it tells that narrative, very, very valid point, because it is a very obtuse and very specific way it tells its story.
Yes.
With all that being said, God of War Ragnarok, I think deserves it over Elden Ring, personally.
Fair enough.
I think that's the better narrative.
What about the best game direction, Crush? Which would be Elden Ring, God of War, Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Immortality, and Stray.
I think Elden Ring deserves this.
I agree.
I think Immortality wins this.
Oh.
Yeah, I think this is one of those categories where Immortality's they're doing unique stuff. It's different experience, and this is a type of category that screams a unique type of experience. I think there's a possibility for Stray as well. You play a cat, you run around as a cat. I think I think Immortality goes a little bit farther on the scale of doing something different. That I would bet money that Immortality ends up winning this category.
Okay. Last but not least, Crash.
Yeah.
Game of the Year.
Yeah.
A Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Shut up, motherfucking stead.
Yeah. People were surprised, and I was surprised as well that it ended up at the Game of the Year list. Right, recognition for that game, I feel like is rewarding for a game like that.
Yeah.
Not to say that it wouldn't be amazing if that game won for fans of the game. This is a tough one, particularly between two games. I think two games are really in contention for this victory here.
Tell me those two.
It's Elden Ring or God of War Ragnarok. I don't think anything else on this list, unfortunately, has a chance at winning it. And I think personally, I give it to Elden Ring, and I think Elden Ring wins it.
Elden Ring is going to win Game of the Year.
Yeah.
I may not agree with it. I may not
It's gonna win
understand it. I may not. I don't know. I may not any of these things. It's going to win Game of the Year.
Yeah.
There's nothing more to say.
Would you be surprised if God of War won it?
Yes.
Really?
I don't know whether it's because I've been avoiding God of War spoilers in conversations, but I haven't heard people talking about it like that.
I think a lot of
I am avoiding it. Those conversations.
I think a lot of it is also people just not wanting to spoil the game for people as well. I will say that.
Could be. But Elden Ring was the talking point for you and Matt P for months.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think that goes to like
Elden Ring.
Exactly. For that, you're like experiences like I did this and I got messed up there and I had all these gameplay moments where with God of War Ragnarok, once you're talking about that, you're talking about narrative and story spoilers. So
yeah.
It for sure is easier to spoil that. But I do partly agree with you. I do think God of War Ragnarok didn't hold as much of the gaming mind space as Elden Ring did for as long as Elden Ring did.
I think it's the same as Horizon. To me, Horizon was the next big PlayStation IP. And it dropped, and I started it, and I was like, huh. This is beautiful. Gameplay's really fun.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have that same magic again.
The first one was a new experience.
Yeah.
It was the first time in that world, and I think...
Is God of War the same? Because I think for me, I'm sat here as... I was never a God of War guy. God of War didn't interest me.
Yeah.
I didn't give a crap about God of War. And now I've got the sequel, and I'm just waiting to have the time to actually get to devour that game. But am I going to sit down and go, huh? Doesn't hit the same.
It won't. I think comparing the two is a little bit unfair. Okay. I don't think God of War will hit the same, but I think God of War, you'll for sure it'll be a memorable experience. Gotcha. I think comparatively to the first, it won't hit the same. But Horizon Forbidden West, I feel like just absolutely. I don't think it has the same, like the first time you're in the world of the first Horizon game, it felt fantastic. It felt like, oh, what are these dinosaurs? Not dinosaurs, but these robots. And you're learning all the stealth bits and all that stuff. And Horizon Forbidden West, I feel like just is missing that discovery element that the first one had. And I don't think the narrative's told in a way that gets you intrigued in the world if you weren't already into it. At all. Yeah.
Dude, I literally watched a YouTube video of Horizon Forbidden West before Horizon Zero Dawn, before I started Forbidden West, and I was still lost. I was like, oh god, this is super. Oh, okay, no.
They go really into it in this one, and I don't think for me it pays off, unfortunately. So yeah, I think God of War Ragnarok fares better in that regard than Horizon.
Fair enough.
But
Elden Ring wins Game of the Year.
Yeah. After going through all these, thumbs up or thumbs down on the year?
It's been an interesting year for me personally, Crash. You gotta remember. Starting my journey in GTA Roleplay, end of December last year. Obviously, it's taken up my entire year this year. In something that I wasn't expecting. So I have had to be very picky and choosy with my experiences. I think overall I've had a good year. I've had a fun year with some games. I don't think there's been those moments of stop what you are doing right this second and go play. There hasn't been a Last of Us 2. There hasn't been a Gears of War 6. There hasn't been... Go on.
I'm gonna disagree with you because I think Elden Ring was that.
I was getting there. Gaming. Elden Ring was there, and I even played it.
Yeah, okay.
But it just wasn't a game for me, which is a shame. But I think when I look back on the year, I look back and go, you gotta remember, I'm number one, I'm getting older. Number two, my time, I'm getting older. Number one. Number two, I'm getting more busy with my work, and I'm doing. To pay the bills, I have to do very different things than I used to. You gotta remember, I'm no longer just a Twitch streamer. I'm now a host, and I do this, and I do that, and I get to have all these different unique experiences, and I'm a musician, and all this crap that I never thought I would be ever in my life. So now I sit down and I go, okay, what do I want to play? And I go, I want to play Football Manager. And I want to play FIFA career mode, and I want to play NBA. Oh wait, NBA sucks. I don't want to play that. And I'm very quick now to go, that's not what I want. So when something hits me, I know when I want it because I won't stop playing it, you know? And yeah, I'm relearning how to fall in love with games again. The stream deck that I've now got allows me to play games on the go a little bit more, allows me to... Back in the day, I used to, and people probably listen to this right now, they're probably not just listening to this, they're probably playing a game at the same time. And I've lost that. I've lost that podcast game. I've not had that for a long time, you know? And again, I've got other experiences. So overall, long answer to your very short question. I do apologize. Overall, I think it's been a good year. I do actually think it's been a good year for games. It hasn't been a fantastic, amazing year, but I think it's been a solid, good year for games with a couple of real standout games out there. What about you?
Yeah, I think I'm in the same ballpark as you, where we've talked about it and we've said this is a lackluster year. When you're actually looking at the year on paper, it really, like, there are a lot of standout games that sort of the gaming community as a whole sort of really, really held in high regards, where it didn't resonate with me. You know, you had Tunic, which I didn't really mess with. You had Stray, even something like Neon White. But it does feel like there were a lot of games for a lot of different people this year. And I think that's really good. And I think that's also a sign of a good year, right? Because some years when you have all AAA bangers, like sometimes those games don't resonate with everybody. And I think people forget that. Is sometimes the people who like indie games, I feel like they get games every year because there's always like out of the park indie games every year. We just don't hear about them as much when there's a whole bunch of AAA games. But yeah, I think there was a good spread of games this year, and I do think it was not as dry as we spoke about it on occasion.
I think what you have to remember is the podcast is called My Xbox and Me, not My Gaming and Me. And
Very
for
true.
Xbox, it was drier than Egypt. It was drier than my knees when I haven't moisturized. It was drier than the Sahara Desert.
Yeah.
It was drier than my mouth when I wake up mid through a snoring fest. You know, when I'm... It was dry. It was dry.
Yeah.
So you got to remember, we don't get to talk about gaming as a whole. We talk about Xbox. So we don't get to talk about, oh shit, Nintendo just put out a new Pokemon game and that was interesting. Or, oh, PlayStation just put out 2 interesting games in God of War and Horizon. Or PlayStation put out Stray. Think about all the games that are up for Game of the Year. Horizon, Stray, God of War, Xenoblade,
these-
Xenoblade Chronicles, and
Yeah,
the
4
play.
of these are not
4 of these can't be played on Xbox.
Yeah, that's true. And even stuff we talked about Sifu. That's not on there. We talked
Yep.
about the Mario Rabbids game. That's not on there. God of War Ragnarok's not on there. Yeah, no, there's Xbox has had a
Bad year.
dry year. Yeah, absolutely.
Drier than my knees crash.
Absolutely. I think unfortunately, Stalker 2 getting delayed and Starfield getting delayed hurt it, but
Hellblade 2
regardless
not
of
got
that-
released. Well, not coming out this year.
But
Not that
that-
it was meant to, but
yeah, no,
but you know,
absolutely.
it's
To
Halo not hitting the way it was meant to, so it didn't get. It's not up there in conversations.
in Xbox's defense, they had Pentiment come out this year.
Yep.
And I don't know if Pentiment was too late to hit the date. I could see Pentiment hitting the date and then it just being something that goes under the radar
I think it's
regardless,
gone
no
under
matter
the
how good
radar.
it is.
It's one of those games
Yeah.
you got to remember. The games industry, they're all deciding these with about a month. It takes about a month, I think, or something like that, right? Pentiment comes out, they go, "This game's amazing." What is it? You tell them the type of game it is. Most people will go, "I'm good."
Yeah.
Unless you're
Yeah, no.
into that type of game, you're not going to go out and seek that type of game. Whether it
Yeah,
got 10 or 10 out of 10s or not.
I agree.
So, yeah, man, it's been an interesting year. I think next year is going to be a really big year for gaming. I think we are finally over COVID and, you know, that whole period in terms of from a gaming industry perspective. I'm not saying COVID's disappeared or anything.
I was gonna say, speak for yourself, Fix.
No, I know you got COVID right now, Chris. I do apologize. But I think from a games industry point of view, the industry is now back on the other side of that. I hope Xbox come out with the goods next year, and I think I said this for many years now, though, and I think they will finally. But yeah, I hope that we're able to, as a podcast, talk about more PlayStation games and other games. We're called My Xbox and Me, yes, of course we are. But please do let us know on the podcast if you'd like to hear us talk about our God of War experience when we're doing What's in Our Box and other things like that, because I think it would be an interesting conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's what it is. Thank you all for watching this week's My Xbox and Me. I do appreciate it. Number one, apologies for it being late, but I gave you the reasoning at the start of the podcast. We will be back again next week. Hopefully Matt's back next week. Sorry we couldn't do this with Matt. We had no news this week. There's literally nothing. It's going to be a dry couple of weeks, guys. So please email in questions, long form questions that we can use for topic of the show and have deeper conversations about. Otherwise, you'll be getting 10, 20 minute, 30 minute episodes. Because there'll still be an episode, but they'll be very short. So
yeah.
It is what it is.
Well, next week we should have news because of the Game Awards. So there should be a good amount of news dropping there, but still drop questions. They'll stock up and we'll have them for the week after that. That's going to be completely dry until
we
the
got to
new
do 2
year.
weeks. We got to do 2 weeks of pre-recorded.
Oh, yes. So definitely drop.
Please drop questions.
Definitely for sure.
Yeah. So please help us get those pre-recorded in, and then we'll come back fresh in January. Yeah. By the way, let's just say it here. We've been planning stuff. All that stuff's kind of been pushed back a little bit due to life. If I'm being totally honest with you, there's been a lot going on. Doesn't mean there isn't going to be any changes at all, but there are. But just bear with us. I promise you we are working hard behind the scenes. Everyone's trying to do what they can. Yeah, I literally just went to my mum's house to take apart a computer that no longer needs to be sent. But it is what it is. Is what it is. Until next time, we'll love you, leave you.
Goodbye.
See you all later. Keep being amazing. Good boys.